After roughly 3 or so years of waiting, we finally got our first taste of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Overnight, Square Enix released the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo on the PlayStation Store. Now, unless you've been to E3 2019, PAX East, or any other event where Square Enix was showing it off, this is the first time most got to experience the title. And it is fantastic. I'm Matt from Cinelinx, and these are my impressions of the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. The Final Fantasy VII Remake demo kicks off right where the upcoming game and the original begin, with Aerith on the streets of Midgar. Meanwhile, Barret, Avalanche, and their newly hired merc Cloud attempt to destroy the nearby Mako reactor. For starters, I absolutely love the ground level approach they took with this mission. The original game had players looking down at each level as a type of overseer, but this view gives players a direct line of sight as to what's going on. It really makes you feel like you're part of the action like never before. The action takes players down the familiar pathway to the Mako reactor's core, featuring some of the iconic scenes the original game was known for. However, it's not exactly a step-for-step remake. The demo featured a few additional scenes with President Shinra and a few more Cloud visions than I anticipated. Both were welcome, as the scenes with the President added to his nefarious ways, and the scenes with Cloud provided a lot of foreshadow for what's to come. I also really enjoyed how they approached the banter. In the original, the conversations with the crew were there to read, but they're given more prominence with cinematics and even in conversations you can eavesdrop on. Plus, it's really cool how the Final Fantasy VII Remake team made it to where you never miss it. They place subtitles to the side even if you want to get straight to the next part of the story. Adding to the awesomeness is the voice acting and overall emotion from each character. I'll admit, I wasn't sold on Steve Burton's Cloud on the trailers, but hearing him in the demo is just spot on. I openly laugh when Wedge is trying to endear himself to Cloud, and in true Cloud fashion, he shuts him down with just 2 words. This is definitely the Cloud we know and love. Plus, John Eric Bentley's Barret is everything you'd want it to be. He's passionate, stubborn, and when he preaches to the Avalanche team while Jesse and Cloud roll their eyes, it is just excellent. Finally, it was brief, but I really like how Square Enix gave Jessie more of the limelight. You can just tell in this expanded remake she's gonna have a somewhat bigger role, and I thought Erika Limbeck played her really well. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a major departure from the original in terms of combat mechanics. The classic turn-based style has been replaced with a hybrid free fighting style. In it, you run around freely attacking whoever you like. Where it becomes a hybrid is how the game slows down for you to select specialty actions like abilities, spells, items, and even limit breaks. But you can only perform these actions if your ATB gauge is filled. It's a major adjustment compared to the original, but I found myself really liking how fast and fierce each fight was. Plus, juggling multiple enemies was a lot of fun. Something else that takes a bit of getting used to is switching between characters mid-battle. It's not terribly difficult to do, but it's definitely an adjustment. There were a few times in the demo I was trying to have Barret cast thunder on enemies, but his ATB filled slowly. It took switching to him to fill it up faster to use his abilities more often. The transitions are fast and smooth, but it's a mechanic that requires some practice. One imperative function of switching is how each team member can help the other and how specialties can help prevent enemy attacks. For instance, there was a moment when Cloud was stuck in the Guard Scorpion's grasp. Switching to Barret and shooting the enemy released Cloud and prevented further damage. Also, when the Guard Scorpion jumped on the wall for a long distance attack, having Barret fire his own long distance shots stopped the boss from attacking. That right there is teamwork. Square Enix and the Final Fantasy VII Remake team also found a way to make each ability feel heavier than they did previously. Cloud's Punisher mode heavy strikes, while slow, felt noticeably stronger than normal slashes, and the same could be said for the specialty abilities like Braver. Barret's overcharge was no slouch either, it hit like a tank. While it is an adjustment, I had an absolute blast with the new combat mechanics. They're fast, fun, powerful, and put the fate of winning or losing in your hands. That said, if that's not really your speed, Final Fantasy VII Remake also has a classic mode, which essentially puts Cloud into autopilot to attack whenever he wants to and let you sit back and melee control abilities, spells, and items when the ATB gauge is full. I personally didn't like this mode as much, it was entirely too hands-off for me. Overall, the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo is such a blast. It is the perfect appetizer to the main course will be served in just a month's time. If you're excited about the game, chances are you're already playing this. If you're on the fence, this will definitely help you get hyped for when the full version of Final Fantasy VII Remake releases on April 10th, 2020. Now, before I go back to playing through the demo for the 23rd time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell us what you think about the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo and even your thoughts on the entire remake itself. Head on over to Cinelinx.com for more incredible content and follow us on Twitter at Cinelinx and myself at Move the Joystick. See you in April for our full review of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Thanks for watching.